Hi, I'm Melissa. I'm an intuitive coach and mentor,
And I'm Luisa. I'm an awakening coach and energy healer.
and we're your spiritual besties.
We're just everyday women having an extraordinary human experience.
You see, we've both been led down the path of amazing discoveries through the power of spirituality.
So, we're here to share our experiences as we dive deep into all things sacred.
Our hope is that we can contribute to the collective conversation to help you feel less alone and more confident as you walk the path to becoming more connected with the universe.
We'd love for you to join us each week as we share our discoveries and navigate this journey together.
Something that we have both been talking about lately, and I keep seeing it more and more around me. A lot of us who have tapped into this spiritual space are feeling a shift happening or feeling some confusion and feeling we're spinning our wheels to some degree. And I've heard a lot of people calling it a realignment that's happening. I mean, I just keep seeing it everywhere.
Yeah, I'm also experiencing it as well. Sometimes I want to say drastically, because sometimes it does feel like it's very drastic. And at other times, it's not so drastic, but I guess it depends on the day. Because some days
Yeah.
it has been a very emotional realignment, is what it feels like for me. And some days it has been, okay, it's understandable that this is changing, right? Because things are always evolving. But yeah, totally on board with that. I do feel a lot of us have been feeling this shift. How have you been experiencing it?
It's funny because I think when we talked last week, we were talking about how we're both on a very similar timeline with it, but I would agree. It is totally this up and down thing. It's riding these waves of, I mean, truly, it does feel drastic. It feels really heavy sometimes. And I think both of us have felt ever since we started seeking more spiritual guidance or seeking that support from the universe, it almost has felt like things have gotten easier and it feels lighter in general. But I definitely think over the last couple of weeks, I would say that it just feels a lot heavier and just feels jumbled some way. My thoughts and guidance that I feel I'm receiving is sometimes feels like it's all over the place. And I'm like, is this just me and my ego getting in the way and I'm starting to have feelings of fear or anxiety or something? Or is this really just the universe telling me I need to change directions, right? I think we're both still in that space where we're like, is this just me being a human, having feelings and thoughts? Or do I need to really be tapping in and listening to this and really just writing it out and just finding my new direction?
Yeah. I think
So
I think we both are still in that space. Last night, for example, one of the things that happens to me is I get the loud beep in my ear. Usually what I do is I'll meditate so that I can get a message. And even last night as I was sitting here and that happened, I'm bad with names, but I get messages when I'm meditating. I can see the messages, then I have to interpret them. And I remember just being so confused and I started crying because I was like, wait. Wait, that's not what I understood I was being guided to. I understood something completely different, and
Mhm.
now it's like, no, I'm being guided to this. So which one is it? Later on, after sleeping, got a little bit more clarity on it, but that has been happening a lot. Exactly that process where whether it's my ear ringing or whatever other way, I get one message and I'm like, okay, so I think I understand this is what's next for me. Or a change of perspective. It's another thing that has happened is, oh, let me change the way that I'm looking at something because I'm not looking at
Mhm.
it the right way. But then the next message feels contradictory. So that has been happening a lot.
Absolutely. Exact same thing. I even talked to you about this last week. I've been developing this course and getting ready to launch this course, right? I mean, as I'm developing it, as I'm kind of ready to launch, I keep leaning in for guidance and asking for signs along the way, like, is this the right path for me? And it kept just really feeling aligned and feeling like this is right. This is the direction that you're meant to go. For weeks, I had been getting that guidance. And then all of a sudden, like, it was out of nowhere. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Am I not supposed to be doing this anymore? And so then I would meditate, ask for guidance, ask for signs. And it was like, maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this, but why did it seem I was getting such clear guidance to do it in the first place? Why is this changing? And I think that that's kind of what I was just talking about, is that not knowing yet, is this truly my inner knowing that is guiding me right now and making me want to change directions? Or am I actually just getting a little fearful? The course launch obviously is, and so now, like, am I just scared? Am I just getting anxious about that? Is it just my brain? Or am I truly feeling like, no, this is my inner knowing and I need to change directions now? So I think I'm still in that place, right? I go back and forth on it. I mean, like we just talked about, it's like this up and down where you think, okay, I got the clarity now. And then next thing you know, it's like, oh, wait, now I'm confused again.
And you know what I got as you were saying that? I got that this is part of us learning to be reassured in ourselves. Does that make sense? I don't know if
Mhm.
I'm saying it with the right words, but it's happened to me many times where it's this thing keeps happening, right? Like I just mentioned, we've been going through it kind of
Mhm.
together. But I just got it's part of you being able to be confident in yourself and the decision that you make. For me, the guidance that I received, it was so clear. Yes, you're going in the right direction. This is what you're meant to do.
Mhm.
This is for me is part of your soul's journey. And then all of a sudden it was like, shift. Hold on. I did get no, this new thing is part of your soul's journey. So
Mhm.
then for me, it was, wait, so are they both part of my soul's journey? But which one do I do? Because I am only human. I cannot do both at the same time. What I just got, the way that I interpret it based on that is, well, it's for you to be reassured, you to
Mhm.
ask yourself your own confidence. So in your thinking brain, do you know? Do you know which one it is? That's what I got. I don't know. But that's just what I got. And it's so important that we do talk about these things because that's one thing that for me, I could be stuck here for months if it wasn't something that I was talking about and sharing with you. And knowing
Mhm.
that other people are experiencing the same thing right now, where talking about it has made it feel a little bit lighter. Not that it's not heavy, right? Because this is for us, this is our business, this is our livelihood,
Exactly.
take care of our families. So not that it's not heavy, but it makes me feel like I'm not so lost. It makes me feel like there's someone else is going through it. Sometimes you share things and perspectives that I may not have considered. And so that makes it really helpful when we talk about it. And we'll be like, oh, I got this. When I
Mhm.
just meditated and I'll be like, oh, I kind of got this. It's helped me to be able to calm down with all of this unsettling because it's still very unsettling with not knowing if I'm going right or left.
You hit the nail on the head of being able to have these conversations with someone and being able to just talk about it and see, oh, you're going through the same thing too. I mean, not only does it provide comfort, that's how we all are as people, right? If you can relate to something, it just makes it feel a little less scary or overwhelming. But I think the fact that we can have these conversations, see that we're both going through it on a very similar timeline, both having those ups and downs, those back and forths, those shifts in perspective, also just reassures me that this actually is something that is bigger than me right now. And there is something happening. And I'm meant to keep leaning in for the guidance, and which we've talked about. One of the hardest things for me is just the letting go. And I think that it allows me to see that this is bigger than me. I need to let go and stop trying to control this journey so much. Because if this is happening for other people, and if we're sharing this experience, then it's not just me. And so it's not just my brain. It is actually something bigger than me that's happening. And I just need to lean in, let go, and kind of just follow along.
One of the harder things for me before my awakening was that I always considered myself to be a super flowy person. I was like, yeah, I'm that person that just goes with the flow. I don't cause any rifts. I'm not going to be the person who's going to cause any waves, cause any issues. I'm just flowing. And realizing through this that, just like you mentioned, That's one of the things that I've had to work on too, is learning to let go. Is what am I holding on to? Why do I feel this need to control everything? In comparison to some people that I've met, and in comparison, I'm sure, to people that we've all met that need to control everything. Maybe I wasn't that way. I definitely was not that way. But there are things that I always thought that I should, or that I did want to control, that I shouldn't be. And I've had to learn to release those things. And it's not an easy process. It's a slow process for me. It's a very slow process learning to let go. And I feel it's happened to me at different stages. But at every stage, when I can learn to let go of that new thing that I realize that I'm holding on to, it's really just more magic in the way that I see it. Allows me to also even be more present, I would say, because this weight that you carry that you almost can't see, I think it's like letting go. There's less
Mhm.
weight and it makes me lighter, and be able to be more present and be able to enjoy whatever it is more. Even doing dishes, which is not something that I'm going to opt for. I'm much more grateful that I'm able to do my dishes, that I have dishes,
Mhm.
simple little things. So yeah, letting go has been a theme, I think, an ongoing theme on and off for me, that this time around with what's currently going on has been heightened for me. Letting go, let go, really
Yeah.
let go. And I'm like, what do I need to let go of? I don't know, because that's how I always start. I'm always like, I don't know. And then when you go meditation or journaling, for me, brings up a lot of things that I don't realize I have to deal with, then I'm like, okay, I can let that go. I can start working on letting it go, because then it's a journey from there.
You mentioned feeling you were a flowy person before, but I think one of the things that we've talked about is how we've both always been sort of high achievers, right? And I think being that way and kind of coming up through school and jobs and all that kind of space coming up through there, you do get reinforcement for working harder and feel you can change the outcome or make an outcome happen that you want to happen. Working hard and achieving a promotion, or in school, you work hard and you memorize all the things and then you get good grades. And so I think that we have both had that experience of being high achievers. And while I wouldn't say is a super controlling, it is this reinforcement along the way that we can control the outcomes to some extent. We keep getting rewarded for putting in more effort and basically working to achieve a certain outcome or get a certain thing done. And we kept doing it the right way. And that was reinforced because we kept getting rewarded for it all along the way. For me, that's been a journey over years. It started with the mindset work that I was doing and understanding my thoughts a lot more. But now that I did that work, I got through that, I changed my mindset, I figured that out. And now this spirituality piece that has been really a focus for me and coming up for me in the last 6 months or so, now it's almost really having to let go. And I think that's been, there have been, like you said, times along the way where I get that message pretty clearly. I need to let go of the outcome because I ultimately can put in work and I can put in effort towards something, but ultimately I don't really control the outcome. That's not possible. And so learning that and taking that in, but like you said, this last couple of weeks, it's a lot bigger than that. Not just letting go of the outcome, but even just letting go of whatever journey we thought we were on. Maybe it looks totally different. And we just need to let go of the outcome that we thought we were working toward. Maybe it looks different.
You said it so perfectly. Going through school and knowing that, or understanding that, the harder you worked, so the more time you put into, I'll use the test example. The more
Mhm.
time you put in, the more you memorized the information, the better grade you got on your test. So
Mhm.
the better GPA you would have overall, the more likely you were to be eligible for, whether it was awards, recognition, or be eligible for a better graduate program or whatever. When I think about it that way, and then I think about right now what we're going through, letting go of even the outcome. We in school, it was this perfectly laid out plan, right? These are the courses you need to take so that you can get this degree. If you want to get this minor, you add these courses and you do that. And you know exactly what you're going to get. And it feels like not only letting go of the conditioning, letting go of all the conditioning because we were conditioned to be that
Mhm.
and do that and perform that way and feel like we needed to put in so much time and effort to be able to accomplish that, but also letting go of, for us, it was the degree or the promotion. I
Mhm.
think that makes so much sense when you said that is right now we need to let go of what it is, whether it's a promotion, whether it's a degree of what it is that we're going to get, because whatever we are going to get is out of our control. Our only job is to enjoy the process of getting there, enjoy whatever we're doing, enjoy whatever we're creating, because the universe rewards that because our creator created us in order to have the most creative experiences that we can have. And thus, that's why we see people who create things, people who start companies, people who have their own businesses. That's why they're helped so much. This is my own opinion at this point. But this is why they're helped so much, is because the universe rewards that. And our only job right now is to create whatever we want to create, that we feel called to create, whatever our soul feels called to create, so that we can get our reward. But we don't get to choose what that reward is going to be. It's just going to be something that we're going to love and appreciate and all of that. That's how that feels.
I think everything you said is so spot on. And still, this like holding on to the outcome that we have envisioned for ourselves. Because I think even though running your own business is not prescriptive, right? You don't have a real roadmap. I mean, yes, you can learn from other people and you can figure out like best practices as far as running a business or marketing your business or all those things. But there is no actual roadmap that says you have to do steps A through Z in this order, and then you have a successful business. Yes, there will be people who tell you that that's how you get there because maybe that's how they got there. But in general, that plan is not going to work out exactly right for anyone else. And so while we've had to let go of that aspect already, of knowing, okay, no one's going to give me the courses I need to take to run my own business and have it be successful. We already had to let go of that. And I think that's the thing that we've been letting go of for the last year. But we still, I think, both had visions of this outcome and what will the outcome be? What will it look like? What will I be doing? How will I be contributing to the world? Who will I be helping? All those things that are important things to consider when you're starting your own business. But now we're basically being forced to even let go of that, to let go of whatever preconceived notions we had about where our businesses were going, what we were doing on a daily basis, and what those outcomes would be. And I don't want to say being forced, but sometimes it really feels like that, but being guided to really let go of that too, and to trust that whatever the universe has in store for us is actually even better than whatever vision we had come up with for ourselves before.
Yeah. And that's exactly it. That's exactly the message I get. It's like you're going to get something so much better than you could even imagine. And
Mhm.
I can say for myself is that that has been true up until this point. I mean, what I have gotten on the
Mhm.
other side of all of those hurdles and all of the guidance that I've gotten, that at the beginning has seemed so wild and crazy. And why would I do that? What I have gotten on this side has been better than anything I could have imagined. So I think it's the leaning in and continuing to do the work to be able to get to that point, because we've obviously both been following the guidance. That's how we got
Mhm.
here. But I think it is amplified right now. I think it's extremely amplified. It's doing the work for us to both to get to that place, which is not easy work because, like we talked about, there are layers to that, so many layers that have to be worked through and not undone, because I don't think you can undo, but worked through
Mhm.
for us to be able to get to that point.
Also, I love in our conversations how, I mean, for me, I know I'm like getting these downloads as we're conversing, and really having these conversations just brings so much clarity for me. And I absolutely love that.
It is wild because even we'll both walk away and then have more downloads, and then we'll be like, oh, and I got this and got that. And that's so beautiful too, though. yes, you go into meetings and then you have these thoughts later on. You're like, oh, maybe we could do this. But it's like just beyond that. It's something so much deeper than that and so amplified and so much clearer. That's the thing. It's so much clearer. It's like, oh, I got these. So these conversations in the moment, not only do we get to benefit from them, we get to see each other's perspective, understand the messages that each other is getting, which we find out are always very similar, but also after the fact, the clarity that we walk away with, and then the additional clarity that we gain after. It's lovely.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
It's kind of amazing.
it is. It is.
Also, because I'm a projector, I think I'm a mental projector, but it actually means that I need to speak. And so to get that clarity requires me to actually say it. And so I think that is part of what is happening with our conversations is I am speaking it. And then also I think because that's my superpower is speaking, I think it helps both of us. Does that make sense?
It does. It makes sense. You're gonna have to teach me more about those things because I know what I am. I think I shared
Yeah, you're a manifesting generator, and I've already started learning about it.
That's a wrap for this episode.
We hope you found some inspiration, a helpful tip, or maybe just a good laugh.
Remember, amazing human, you are not alone on this path to connect with your inner wisdom and the universe.
To stay connected and keep the conversation going, subscribe to our YouTube channel and our podcast so you never miss an episode.
And if this episode resonated with you, share it with your friends, family, or anyone who might find value in it. Until next time.